The world was a blur of smells and sounds. The car had sped away, leaving him behind. He barked and barked, his tail tucked low. He was alone. The park held no comfort now. The familiar scent of his family was gone. Each rustle of leaves sent shivers down his spine. He missed his warm bed and the gentle hand that scratched behind his ears. Days turned into nights. Hunger gnawed at his belly. He scavenged for scraps, his heart heavy with sadness. The world seemed like a cold and lonely place. He longed for the sound of his name, for a kind word, for a loving touch. He had almost given up hope. Would he ever feel safe and loved again? One chilly evening, he saw a hand reach out. He cowered, unsure. The hand held a piece of sausage. He hesitated, then took a tentative sniff. The smell was intoxicating. He gobbled it down, his tail giving a small wag. The hand offered another piece, and this time he took it gently. For the first time in days, a glimmer of hope flickered within him. The kind lady led him to a car. He hesitated, fear gripping him again. But her touch was gentle, her voice soothing. He allowed himself to be coaxed inside. The car ride was a blur. He ended up in a new place, full of unfamiliar scents. He whimpered softly, unsure of what to expect. The lady led him inside a cozy house. He sniffed cautiously, his tail slowly wagging. A little girl with bright eyes peeked from behind the lady's legs. He lowered his head, unsure. She giggled and held out a squeaky toy. He couldn't resist the invitation to play. He took the toy gently in his mouth, his tail wagging faster. The little girl's laughter was like music to his ears. He felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling he hadn't felt in a long time. The lady, who he learned was named Sarah, prepared a bowl of food for him. He ate greedily, savoring each bite. He had never felt so safe and cared for. That night he slept on a soft bed, his head resting on Sarah's lap. He drifted off to sleep, content and hopeful for the first time since he had been left behind. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months. He learned his new name was Lucky. He loved his new life with Sarah and her daughter, Emily. Emily was his best friend. They played fetch in the park, went for walks and cuddled on the couch. He loved the way Emily's laughter filled the house. He knew he was home. Sarah treated him with kindness and love. She brushed his coat until it shone, and she looked into his eyes with such love that it made his heart swell. He would never forget the feeling of being lost and alone, but the fear had vanished. In its place was a love so deep and true that he knew he would never be the same. He had found his purpose, his reason for being. He was their protector, their companion, their Lucky. He loved their cuddles on the couch, their evening walks, even their silly arguments over stolen socks. He knew he was not just a pet, but a member of their family. He was loved for who he was, scars and all. His past was a distant memory, a shadow that no longer haunted him. He was home. He watched Emily grow taller, her laughter still the sweetest sound. He saw the love in Sarah's eyes deepen with each passing day. He knew he was living proof that second chances were real, that love could heal even the deepest wounds. He had arrived at their doorstep a scared and heartbroken dog, and they had welcomed him with open arms and loving hearts. He looked at Sarah and Emily, his tail wagging furiously. He nuzzled his head against Sarah's hand, a gesture of love and gratitude. They had saved him, but he knew he had saved them too in his own way. He had taught them about loyalty, about unconditional love, about the joy a furry companion could bring. He was living proof that the greatest gifts in life often came with four paws and a wagging tail. He closed his eyes, content and filled with love. He was home and he was loved. And in the end, wasn't that all that truly mattered? He was lucky, and this was his forever home, filled with forever love.